Hey guys, it's Jess. I'm currently in my car because I don't have the time to film something properly, but I'm alive. I guess that's first and foremost. My month-long hiatus has now come to an end now that December is upon us, even though it doesn't feel like December outside. It's 65 degrees and I'm upset. But, what am I trying to say? Nana was good. I didn't reach the 50,000 words, but I'm kind of used to that at this point whenever I try to do nano, so it's really okay. I ended up writing 23,612 words, if my memory stands correctly, which is 23,000 words that I did not have a month ago today. So even though, that's the thing about nanos, that even if you don't reach 50,000, just setting that goal in general and striving for it in any sense gives you something of a positive result. You don't need 50,000 words. In fact, in the grand scheme of my book, the difference between 23,000 words and 50,000 words probably is not going to be a lot, because it's really it's a long series, multi-book thing. At least that's how it's in my mind at the moment. But yeah. So nano was good, and it wasn't just nano, just my little month off. I got a lot of other things sorted out, just with life in general, with school, making time for friends, that sort of thing. I have met with a professor, and I've decided on my senior honors, whatever thesis you want to call it, thing, and I sound so eloquent, don't I? But so I've spoken to my professor about that. Ironically enough, for all of you Gintama fans out there, I know a lot of you are, I'm doing my senior thesis on Yoshida Shoin and Shoko Sonjuku, the real life counterparts of obviously all that good stuff in Gintama that we all know and love. It was really funny. I was talking to my professor, 2 days ago actually, about it, in his office hours. And he's just mentioning all potential sources that I could use, and he started talking about Kirokon, who is a Katsura, how he's got a 4-volume diary, something like that. And I'm just like, yes sir, I know. And he's like, you know. I'm like, of course I'm not telling him, at least at this point in time, the exact how I came to have an interest in this time period in individuals. Fortunately, we were talking about it in class, so we can roll with that. That's why I'm doing this project. I mean it is, but the origin of the interest is a little bit unorthodox, shall we say. Ironically enough, actually, today into tomorrow, tonight, around midnight, that time, is when exactly a year ago today, I sat down in front of a camera for the first time to film something on YouTube. And I don't know how that happened, how a year has passed since then. I'm not posting a link to that atrocious video that I made, but it's not that bad. It's just the camera quality is awful, and I'm whispering into the camera because it's 1 or 2 in the morning or something like that. I'm like, I can't wake up my family. I'm completely off the cuff right now, so this is entirely unorganized. But plans for the future, what I'll be doing with watching things and stuff. Obviously, Gintama. We've got the manga, and now we've got the anime too, which is coming back earlier than probably any of us expected. I was personally expecting a spring 2017 release for that, so April or whenever the spring season starts, something like that. I was expecting it to start up then, just so we know how long the final arc is going to be, because by that point we should have a better idea of how long Sorachi is going to be dragging this out. But apparently not. Apparently we have no plans of doing such a thing. And we will be heading straight into the anime beginning on January 8th. Whether, obviously, exactly when it's going to be in the States is a little bit different as far as time zones and whatever goes. But, I'm really excited. I'm really excited. The question is, at this point, how many cores it's going to be, how many episodes. I'm assuming 2 at absolute minimum if they were to do a bare bones, slightly rushed adaptation, because I was trying to break it down the other day about how many episodes I think Rakugo is going to be. I went through the chapters and was like, yes, this is probably one episode, this is probably another episode, blah, 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 going with the usual, how they tend to adapt 2 to 4 chapters per episode, it seems. So, and honestly, Rakugo alone is 15 or 16 episodes just by itself. If they were to really rush it, they probably could do it down to 13. But that would be, I'm not sure how I'd feel about that. I mean, maybe they could pull it off. I don't know. I'm not the one that's making this anime. I'm just doing a rough guess as to how much, based off of the amount of material that we have. Those last 5 chapters especially are just so dense, and you need just the last 5 or 6 chapters, basically all the Oboro stuff on, that's probably 3 episodes in and of itself. I think so, at least. But not 3 episodes just for Oboro. This is 1 episode, but all of the other stuff. And then to be able to fit in all of Silver Soul Arc, which Sorachi seems to be taking his time on. I haven't read the chapters yet, but from what I've seen, he's definitely not heading straight into the plot. Considering that we're talking about Prince Hada and Elizabeth, and I don't know the full context, and I'm not gonna know for a little while, but I'm scared. But that's okay, or I'm always slightly scared of what goes through Sorachi's mind, but whatever. That is really why we love him after all, isn't it? Maybe, in some senses. What else? So that's Gintama. Obviously, it's easiest for me to talk about Gintama at any given point in time. But as far as other things go, all the others that I'm watching, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Legend of Galactic Heroes, One Piece, Tokyo Ghoul, and also Cowboy Bebop. I think I mentioned that I was kind of watching Cowboy Bebop at the moment, but I'm trying to figure out the exact way that I'm going to go about reading / watching whatever all of this stuff, because I have realized as of late that trying to go through multiple shows or anime, manga, whatever you want to call them, at once generally results in me not watching that much at all, kind of counterintuitively. But it's just, when you sit down at the end of the day, it's just like, oh, I can read or watch something right now. It's just like, but there are a million different things that I could do, and then you ultimately end up doing nothing, because it's not like you have that clear goal. It's just like, oh, I'm almost at the end of this whatever show. And it's just like, oh, so I just gotta push through the end. But I don't have that right now for anything that I'm reading or watching, which is kind of annoying. So what I'm planning on doing at the moment is kind of reverting back to the time in my life when I found reading or watching things the easiest, when I just go through one series at a time, all at once, to completion. Kind of like what I did when I did with Hunter x Hunter, what I did with Gintama, and pretty much what I did whenever I read a book, watched a TV show, or whatever in the past before I had this channel. Because for whatever reason, I find it more entertaining, more immersive, for any multitude of reasons, to just focus in almost just on one main thing, and then obviously like a few little things on the side are fine, but ultimately just trying to juggle all of the different series at once. It's just like, it takes me out of all of them, which is very annoying, because I don't want to be getting these fantastic shows, that fantastic anime, fantastic manga, that sort of treatment, because they deserve the most everything that I could give them. So I've come up with a rough order as to how I'm going to be going about this. I will have a schedule actually in the description of this video on a Google Doc, so it's going to be subject to change as the year goes on, but just so you guys have a rough idea as to when I'll be getting to any given show, because obviously I feel bad that I'm putting most of the stuff on, but putting it on hold until because I'm putting some things on hold until I get around to watching other things first. And some of you might be subscribed just for Tokyo Ghoul. I'm just like, yeah, I'm not going to get to that yet. So the current order at the moment, I'll be starting with Cowboy Bebop, just because Cowboy Bebop is really, really short. So I'm just going to quickly watch that, probably do a live reaction to the last episode. If you want something else, just leave a request down in the comments. I can't promise you that'll get to live reactions, but I will try if I happen to be home when I'm watching the episode. Then obviously a review will follow that. Then after that, I'll just be watching Bizarre Adventure. I'm probably going to stop with the anime just because I don't want to be spending so much time on it. And also I know that that finding translations is weird, so I might just wait for the anime or until better translations are possible. I know that that's primarily a problem for part 5 and not later parts, but I'd rather just make the distinction, anime-manga distinction, and get around to the manga at a later date if the anime doesn't come sooner. But that's probably coming in 2017 anyway. I hear that's the talk. I know it's not like confirmed or anything, but so then those 2 JoJo's, and ultimately should probably be finished with Cowboy Bebop and the JoJo stuff by probably mid-January if I do it one thing at a time like that. After that point, I'll be doing Legend of the Galactic Heroes and then Tokyo Ghoul. But the thing is, each of these things, or at least after JoJo, I will be breaking them up with a saga of One Piece because there is no world in which I am going to read all of One Piece all at once and ignoring everything else just because it is so insanely long. So the real order is Cowboy Bebop, JoJo Part 3, JoJo Part 4, then One Piece, the Alabasta Saga, then Legend of the Galactic Heroes, then another One Piece, whatever happens, Sky Island or Skypiea, whatever it's called, and then Tokyo Ghoul, and so on and so forth. And obviously, as I'm a little bit more aware of things that I'll be watching in the future, those will be what go in between all of the One Piece arcs. What I'm thinking at the moment are, I think, definitely Monster, Rurouni Kenshin, and Kingdom. I think that those would be my next 3 after that point, after I do Tokyo Ghoul. But yes, there's that. Obviously, I don't really do seasonal stuff that often, but the show Genroku Rakugo Shinju next season is a definite exception to that rule because it is absolutely incredible. I watched it last season, though I actually didn't finish reviewing everything. I finished watching, but I didn't get around to reviewing, which I will actually be doing in the coming weeks because I got a few shows that I watched this year that I really want to review. I promised everybody a ReZero review, which I'm working on. I really wanted to go Mob Psycho 100 review because I love Mob Psycho 100, and then obviously a show Genroku Rakugo Shinju. I think that those are what I would probably call my top 3 shows of the year in some sense. I didn't really watch that much the fall season because being overwhelmed with work, because of obviously my NaNoWriMo hiatus. So like there very well may be something in the fall 2016 season, or even something earlier in the year that I missed that I would probably consider better than any one of those 3. I don't know. They might exist, and I'll get to them some way. I think I've mostly given up on following seasonal stuff aside from maybe 1 or 2 shows most of the time, because again, but what I said earlier, it's just too much all at once. So yeah, I think that's everything. So I guess you could say that the way that I'm sort of mentally organizing this is that there are roughly 3 threads of content in the coming months. So that's how I decided to reorganize this channel in a way to try and make it more efficient and actually get more videos out like I've been struggling to do for the past couple of months before the hiatus. So you got whatever I have had to be watching or reading at the moment. That's the really long series of things that I'm catching up on. They're usually older things that people are just like, yes, they're the best things ever. And I'm like, okay, let's see if they are the best things ever. But then obviously Gintama, which is what I think is the best thing ever. And then this other limbo sort of thread of occasionally it's going to be a full series review, on the odd chance that I'm watching and liking enough to review a seasonal show. Or also Heaven's Feel is coming out this year, so I'll probably do something about that when that comes out. So just like on and off, sporadic, and it's obviously going to be decided more from week to week. So I think that this will give me a good solid 3 or 4 episodes, 3 or 4 uploads every week. So yes, thank you very much for watching. Thank you for your continued patience and support. I think that taking the month off was a very good thing, and now I am ready to get back into the swing of things. I hope you are as well, and I hope to continue enjoying doing all of this YouTubey stuff with you in the future. So thank you guys. I'll see you soon.